Elvis Presley had a twin brother who died at birth. For 42 years, Elvis lived with a question that tormented him: why did he die and I survive? What Elvis believed about his brother became the driving force behind everything he did. And the truth is darker than anyone imagined. January 8, 1935. Tupelo, Mississippi. A tiny two-room house. Gladys Presley was in labor, and something was wrong. At 4 a.m., the first baby was born. A boy. Stillborn. The umbilical cord wrapped around his neck. He never took a breath. They named him Jesse Garon Presley. 35 minutes later, at 4:35 a.m., the second twin was born. Alive. Crying. Fighting. They named him Elvis Aaron Presley. But here's what haunted Elvis for his entire life: he was born second. Jesse died first. And Elvis spent 42 years wondering if he'd somehow stolen his brother's life. Picture this: from the moment Elvis could understand language, his mother Gladys told him about Jesse. Not just that he'd had a twin, but that Jesse was the good one. The one who was supposed to live. You were born for a reason, Gladys would tell young Elvis. Jesse's watching over you. You have to live for both of you now. For a child, it became a burden. If you've ever felt like you had to live up to impossible expectations, hit that like button. Every year on January 8, their birthday, Gladys would take Elvis to Priceville Cemetery where Jesse was buried. She'd bring flowers. She'd cry. And she'd talk to Jesse's grave. "Jesse, your brother's doing so well," she'd say. "He's such a good boy. I know you're watching over him." Elvis would stand there, 5, 6, 7 years old, listening to his mother talk to his dead brother. Watching her grieve. And every year, Elvis would think, "She wishes it was me who died instead." By the time Elvis was a teenager, he was generous to the point of being reckless. He'd give away money he didn't have. Buy things for strangers. Help anyone who asked. The truth was simple. He was trying to earn his survival. He was trying to prove he deserved to live when Jesse didn't. When Elvis became famous in 1954, success didn't ease the guilt. It made it worse. Because now, Elvis had what his brother would never have. Fame. Money. Love. Life itself. Jesse was supposed to be the special one, Elvis told his girlfriend Dixie Locke in 1955. He was born first. "I'm just the backup." "Elvis, you are special," Dixie said. But Elvis shook his head. "Everything I do, I'm doing for both of us. I have to succeed twice as much because I'm living for two people." Elvis began having dreams about Jesse. Vivid, recurring dreams where his brother was alive. Sometimes Jesse would be watching him. Sometimes Jesse would be performing instead of Elvis, and Elvis would be in the grave. "Do you ever feel like you're being watched?" Elvis asked his friend Red West in 1956. "Like someone's always there?" "Jesse. I feel him. All the time. Like he's waiting for me to fail. To prove I didn't deserve to survive." When Gladys died in 1958, Elvis completely fell apart. Not just because he'd lost his mother, but because of what Gladys said in her final days. She looked at Elvis and said, "Jesse's been calling me. He wants me to come home." Elvis later told his father, even at the end, she was thinking about Jesse. The son she lost. Not the son who was right there. After Gladys died, Elvis would visit Jesse's grave alone, sometimes in the middle of the night. He'd sit there for hours. "I'm sorry," Elvis would say to the gravestone. "I'm sorry you didn't get to live. I'm sorry I got everything and you got nothing." In 1960, a spiritual advisor told Elvis, "Your brother's spirit is attached to yours. He's living through you. Everything you do, he experiences." For Elvis, it became another weight. Another responsibility. Elvis started making strange requests. He wanted his bedroom at Graceland to have 2 of everything. 2 beds. 2 dressers. 2 chairs. In case Jesse visits, Elvis said. He wore 2 pendants around his neck. One with his initial, E. One with Jesse's initial, J. We're supposed to be together, Elvis explained. Subscribe for more stories where hidden pain shaped extraordinary lives. By the mid-1970s, Elvis was struggling with prescription drug abuse, weight gain, and depression. Why are you doing this to yourself? Priscilla asked him. You have everything. Elvis looked at her with exhausted eyes. Do you know what it's like to spend every day wondering why you're alive and someone else isn't? To feel like you're living on borrowed time? He paused. Jesse got 35 minutes. I got 42 years. Doesn't seem fair, does it? Elvis, that wasn't your fault, Priscilla said. Wasn't it? Elvis replied. Maybe if I hadn't been so strong, he would have lived instead. Maybe I took all the life and left him nothing. On August 16, 1977, the day Elvis died, he'd been reading a book about twins. About how surviving twins struggle with guilt and identity. Elvis had underlined a passage, the surviving twin carries not just their own life, but the ghost of the life that never was. In the margin, Elvis had written, 42 years is enough. I'm tired of carrying 2 lives. When Elvis died at 42, some people noticed something eerie. Elvis lived exactly as long as he felt he was supposed to. At Elvis's funeral, they buried Elvis next to his mother Gladys. And on the other side of Gladys, they placed a memorial marker for Jesse Garon Presley. For the first time since birth, the twins were together. Vernon Presley said at the funeral, Elvis spent his whole life trying to be worthy of surviving. He thought he had to be twice as good because he was living for 2. And maybe that's what killed him. The weight of 2 lives was too much. Dr. George Nicopolos later reflected, Elvis had survivor's guilt. But it wasn't from surviving a war. It was from surviving birth. That's a guilt you can never escape. Today, at Graceland's meditation garden, you'll see 3 graves. Gladys Love Presley. Elvis Aaron Presley. And a small marker for Jesse Garon Presley. The marker for Jesse is smaller. Because Jesse never lived. Never walked. Never spoke. But Jesse shaped Elvis's life more than any living person. Share this story with someone who carries invisible burdens. The tragedy of Elvis isn't that he died at 42. It's that he spent all 42 years feeling like he didn't deserve to be alive. Every time Elvis gave away a car, he was trying to earn his survival. Every time he performed until exhausted, he was trying to justify taking Jesse's place. Every time he pushed beyond human limits, he was trying to live big enough for 2 people. Elvis never found peace with that question. He never forgave himself for being the twin who lived. But perhaps now, looking at those 3 graves, mother and both her sons finally together, perhaps now Elvis has found what he spent 42 years searching for. Permission to rest. Permission to stop carrying 2 lives. Permission to just be Elvis. The twin who survived spent his whole life apologizing for surviving. Because the world gained Elvis Presley. But Elvis never gained himself. He was always Elvis and the ghost of Jesse. Never just Elvis. Never just enough. 42 years of guilt. 42 years of trying to earn what he'd been given at birth. 42 years of living for 2. And in the end, the weight of 2 lives broke 1 man. Rest in peace, Elvis Aaron Presley. And rest in peace, Jesse Garon Presley. The twin who never lived but was never forgotten.